Hey guys, Ebony Powell here, and welcome back to my channel. Okay, so in today's video, I am going to be discussing something that I was talking with a friend of mine. She was asking me how it is being a new mom and all the ins and outs of that, and if I was at any point finding it too stressful. And one of the things that we started talking about was different ways that I like to de-stress. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So I'm going to be sharing my top 5 ways of de-stressing. Now, these methods might be things that you are familiar with. Some things that I named you probably would never do to de-stress, but this is just me personally, and some things you might have never thought about using to de-stress, and it might be something that you'd want to try in the future. So I'm going to go through all of those today. But before we get into the video, if you are not subscribed to my channel, then what are you doing? So make sure that you click that red button, subscribe to my channel, also click the bell button so that you will always receive notifications every time I upload a new video. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to talk about that I do to de-stress is something that I never thought I would do. I remember my mom talking about doing this to de-stress herself when I was a little bit younger. I mean, this had to be like maybe 13 years ago that I first heard her talking about this, and I was just like, who would do that to relieve stress? And now as an older woman, somehow I've found myself doing this, and that is cooking. I love to de-stress with cooking. My family is full of chefs. My grandmother was a chef. 2 of my uncles are chefs. My cousins are chefs and bakers. And my mom is a home chef. She's like the bomb cook. My aunts cooked, and that has passed down to me. And it's crazy because growing up, a lot of our family gatherings was centered around food in the kitchen, and like going fishing and going crabbing and all of this stuff around food. And I remember how annoyed I would be sometimes, because if we were having some sort of family gathering and we were cooking, that meant that I had to help, and I was just not down for that. But as I got older, I started cooking more, and throughout the years, I've just found that if I've had like a long day, I'm gonna go to Vaughn's and gather all this food. This doesn't have to be on the weekend. This is like a day after work. And I will gather all this food and come home and just cook a big, huge meal that is way more food than Vincent and I need. So I'll call people over, and people come over to the house, and I get a satisfaction of watching people eat my food and have conversations and laugh and listen to music and all of those different things. And it's so weird because I'm in this area, I'm just like my mom. Like sometimes I don't even need to eat. Like I'll cook all this food and I just want to watch everybody eat, and that gives me so much satisfaction. It relieves stress, definitely. And even though at the end of it, my feet might hurt, my hands might be tired, my back might hurt, whatever stress that I was feeling is gone. And I know that sounds crazy, but that's one of the things that I love to do in order to relieve stress. Okay, second thing that I do to relieve stress, and I'm sure everyone is familiar with this, that is working out. So for the longest, I have been, I wouldn't say an athletic junkie. I love going to the gym. I love lifting weights. I love trying new classes. When I was in Houston, I would go to this place called Black Swan Yoga. And it was, God, it was just such an amazing experience every time I went there. I haven't done yoga a lot since we moved to California, mainly because classes are so freaking expensive. But I do have a gym membership now, and so I like going to different classes. I like going to Zumba, something called body pumping. It has a weird name, but it is very intense. I love being in some sort of athletic atmosphere. And throughout my pregnancy, I was like working out as as much as I could. If I wasn't sick or if I wasn't tired, then I was gonna find some way to squeeze in a workout. But of course, after a while, I had to lay that down. And as soon as I was cleared postpartum, I immediately made a beeline to the gym. And after I left, I just felt so good, because it was not only the fact that I was able to work out again, but also I was able to give Milo to, I think at the time my in-laws were here, so I was able to give Milo to them. And so it was, yay, I'm back in the gym, but also, I just need to relieve some stress and let some endorphins go. And that brings me so much joy whenever I get a chance to do that, which I've tried to stay pretty consistent now that I have been cleared. So I'm really, really happy to be able to put that on my list again. Okay, number 3, another thing that I love to do in order to relieve stress is to play in makeup. Makeup has been a large portion of my life. Ever since I was 17 years old, I started playing around with makeup. I would do my friend Raisa's makeup in class, and we would get in trouble because we would just sit in the back of the class and I would do her makeup, and then after school I would go over to her house and we would just buy stuff and play in makeup and do each other's eyebrows. One time I permed her eyebrows. But yeah, so makeup, I love the artistic nature of makeup. I love testing out new products. I love playing with different colors and techniques. And so whenever I get to experiment with products and everything, that's a creative space for me. And it really allows me to de-stress and also work on my craft. Also, it's allowed me to be in some really, really amazing spaces creatively. So I love when I get a chance to play with all of the stuff that's back here, as well as in my professional kit. Number 4, and this is another thing that a lot of women use to de-stress, and that is manis and pedis, or as I call them, paws and claws. I know a lot of times women go with other women to the nail salon, and that's cool. I like to do that from time to time. But if I'm in a place where I need to get my mind off some things, I might be a little upset, I just need to calm down, I need to go alone. It's bad enough when the nail techs there are trying to hold a conversation with you and I have my headphones in, but if I'm dealing with that and another person next to me talking and whatnot and interrupting the zen that I'm trying to acquire, it's very, very frustrating. It kind of defeats the purpose of why I'm even going there. So whenever I'm feeling like that, I definitely like to go and get mani-pedis by myself. I just love to do all of that alone. And then usually 9 times out of 10, if I'm in that space where, I need to go and just get a mani-pedi by myself, I'll do that. And then afterwards I'll go to either Starbucks, Home Goods, or Target. I don't know. Those are the 3 spots. It's man, I feel so good. Let me go buy something. I don't get to do those as often as I used to. Let me tell you something. When I lived in Houston, I was getting mani-pedis every other week. Okay? Every other week. And now, listen, my husband's in grad school. Okay? Can't be doing that. Gotta save them coins. And then lastly, number 5, if cooking doesn't work, if working out does not work, going to get a mani-pedi doesn't work, if playing in makeup doesn't work, I have to call on my girls. So they're just a core group of girls that I really, really, really confide in, and not hey girl, I'm tired. I go into detail. I'm extremely transparent with these women. Those moments are usually ones where I need advice. I'm so stressed to the point where I'm I need to make a decision about something, or everything is going wrong, or I need to just verbally dump on someone. And you have to be very careful and choose those people wisely, because I can't verbally dump on all of my girlfriends. There's some of my friends, I know that if I talked about my stress, it would stress them out. And so I don't verbally dump on them. It's some that I can just be like, look, I need to be like 100% real. If I need to just cry for a little bit, if I need to use choice words that I don't normally use, that's okay. They're not gonna judge me on it because they know that it might just be needed that time in order to get it out, you know? And so I'm very, 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 very grateful for those women in my life because I know that I can count on them. And even if I reach out to them and they don't immediately answer, eventually they get around to me. I'm very grateful to have a tribe of women surrounding me who allows me to just be very naked and transparent and real with them and allow me to get whatever it is off of my chest. Okay, so those are my top 5 ways of de-stressing. I want to put an added bonus in though, and that is the one thing that I feel a lot of people, I don't want to say no one because people handle things differently, but I know for me, and I'm sure others as well, this is the one thing that you should not do if you need to de-stress. And that is peruse social media. And I say that because social media has a way of perpetrating a sense of perfection. And I know there have been times where I have felt stressed and upset and frustrated and just like, oh my gosh, my life sucks. And then I'll go to look at Instagram and there's like scrolling, perfection, I'm living a life, I'm buying all this stuff, I'm getting these sponsorships, I'm going to these places, I'm traveling around the world and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, it's actually doing more damage to my soul than it is helping me. So if ever I'm in a funk or in a really low place, I always make sure that for the most part, I stay off of social media. And that's okay. Like sometimes you just need to give yourself a break. It is good to give yourself a break and just get away from looking at life portrayed on social media and just take some time to live your life and get yourself together and get yourself refocused. I feel like once you're back in a good headspace, being on social media can't be as damaging as it could be. Okay, so that's all I got, guys. I appreciate all the love and support that you guys give my channel. Don't forget that you guys can follow me on all social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. I will see you all in my next video. Until next time, bye. Okay. All right, I'm getting out of here. And this is something that I'm like blazing through this video. Milo asleep, I may be able to pull in another one. Okay. All right.